Hello again, folks. Eric here with Thrifty Survivor. And once again, I'd like to thank you for visiting us here at our Thrifty Survivor YouTube channel. Now, what I'm going to be doing today is a review, once again, of one of Brian's knives. He's our cameraman. And what it is, it's the Gerber Prodigy. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull it out of the sheath while I kind of go over some of the specs on the knife. Now this, as you may be able to see, is more like a combat type of knife. Okay, it's not very large. It's got a light, felty, if you will, blade, so you can swing it and stab, you know, narrow. Anyway, but let's get into some of the specs and then we can kind of go into that a little bit more. First of all, the knife comes in at 7.2 ounces, so it's not going to weigh you down much. Also, the overall length is 9 3/4 inches. The blade itself is 4 3/4 inches. So what does that tell you, folks? That tells you the handle is 5 inches. Okay. Now, as you can clearly see here, the blade does have a partially serrated edge here. Now, what I'm going to tell you is Walmart does have an exclusive on a different version of this one, where it comes actually in this color of handle, because if you go on Amazon, you're not going to see this this flat dark earth handle. It's going to either be OD green or black. Okay, but Walmart does have an exclusive where you can get it again with the flat dark earth color handle, as well as without the serrated edge. You can get it either way. Okay, and the price is the same. This knife actually, I probably ought to mention, comes in at just shy of $50. So it's a relatively budget priced knife, and it's a Gerber, proudly manufactured here in the USA at Portland, Oregon, at their Portland, Oregon plant. Now, as you can, well, you probably can't tell, but it is a full tang knife. In fact, on the pommel end here, as you can probably see, now, are you zoomed in here, Brian?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Anyway, as you can see here, you got a glass breaker, which also serves as a hole for a lanyard. Also, the blade itself is constructed of 420 HC stainless steel, and it also here has a 90-degree angle, so you can use it for starting fires, you know, for sparking. I tried it. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring a fire steel, but trust me, you've seen me do it before. If I say it can do it, it'll do it, okay? Now, the blade also is coated with a black oxide coating, and what that does for you is it also improves the corrosion resistance even more, and it also reduces visual, you know, actually gives less of a visual signature. If you want to be kind of inconspicuous out in the woods, you don't want to be seen. This is not going to be glossy and you know, reflect sunlight. Also, I mean, I just keep going on this because there are just so many features. The handle itself has actually has a over-molded handle here, and what it does is it provides more comfort as well as a firm grip. Also, it's got a molded tack hide coating, and what that does for you is it actually reduces vibration. So if you're whacking away, you know, chopping away at wood, it's not going to hurt your wrist, at least as much as a lot of other types of materials that they might use for handles. Let me see here. I already mentioned the glass breaker. Okay, I think what we're going to do now is go ahead and talk a little bit about the sheath, and then we're going to go ahead and put this knife through its paces. All right, so we're back. Now, this is the sheath that comes with the knife, and this sheath actually is loaded with features. Number one is it's got a, well, it's an ambidextrous sheath, so you can stick the knife in either this way or that way. It doesn't matter, which is kind of nice if you're left-handed, or if you're a righty or a lefty, or if you want to cross draw, maybe sometime, and sometimes you don't. That's not going to be an issue with this sheath. Also, you've got a big belt loop here that you can run through a large belt, And if you don't want to have to take your belt off to remove the knife, you can also use one of these MOLLE webbing straps here to wear it on a belt. However, personally, I'd prefer the security of just running it through the belt, but that is an option. Also, as you can see, there are 2 of these, and these are actually designed to mount onto MOLLE webbing, okay, top and bottom. And with both of these, if you properly weave these through your MOLLE, that ain't gonna come off. Something else that a lot of people miss actually with the sheath is you may want to zoom in here because I'm going to kind of show them those little bolts on the back there, and I'm going to try not to move too much. Now if you can see these two little bolts, you can actually remove the plastic, or I'm going to call it Kydex, but it's coated in some kind of a rubberized material. I don't know why they did that, but it ain't a bad thing. Anyway, you can remove that and mount this directly onto your MOLLE webbing if you prefer to do that. All you got to do is undo those 2 little bolts, remove these 2 little straps, and it'll pull right off. Okay? Also, let me see here. Did I forget anything? I think that's about it. Oh yeah, one thing I need to mention also is it's got actually a nice friction release here. I mean, it's really got a firm grip. You know when you've got it popped in, and you know when you've got it popped out. That alone, even without the nylon sheath here, I mean, it ain't gonna I mean, you know, it's not coming out. Now, never say never. So personally, I would prefer keep it in, you know, with as much security as possible. Something else that is really over and above on this sheath is not only does it have 1 snap, but it's got 2. So you've got the friction release lock retention plus 2 snaps. I mean, if you want security, if you don't want to lose your knife, you know, if you lose it from this sheath, you're having a real bad day, folks. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get right into putting this knife through its paces. So you just sit tight and I'll be right back. All right, folks, we're back. All right, now what I'm going to do for starters is, as you probably know if you've watched enough of our videos, we're going to start by splitting a log. Let's just see how it goes. Now this blade, again, is only 4 3/4 inches long, so it might take a while to get through this, but let's find out. Here goes. Okay. I have to say I was pretty impressed with that. My goodness.
About 3 or 4 whacks?
I don't know if it even took that many, but you know, the blade is just over 1 inch longer than the thickness of that log. And once again, as usual, this is maple. It's a hard wood. You know, it's getting up there right close to like oak. Okay, it went right through that. Now I'm going to go ahead and quarter it as well, so that we can see how well this blade will feather stick. So how'd you like that? I did that on purpose. No, actually I forgot I had partially sawed through that before. So just kind of a neat little trick there. Anyway, all right, now let's see here. Now we got some material here in the center. I'm going to go ahead and try to use this. Now I don't know if y'all could see this, but I'm going to turn it a little bit at an angle, and here I'm going to back up and use kind of the end of the blade. Well, I have to say, I don't know if y'all could see that. Oh, I guess I could have held it a little bit lower. But that did a pretty good job of feather sticking maple. You know, I know I've mentioned this many times before, but generally if you're going to be doing feather sticking, you're probably not going to be doing that with maple or oak or anything along those lines. You're probably going to be looking for pine, because pine just catches fire a lot more easily. It's also a lot easier to feather stick. But that kind of showed you something, that this knife is sharp. Now I started here, I don't know if you could do it, but I'm going to try with the serrated section. I'd be surprised if this will do it, but we'll see. Nah. Okay. Yeah. So what you're going to have to do with a blade like this is use the non-serrated section for feather sticking. You know, this obviously is not a knife for chopping. But I'm going to go ahead and just try on just a little piece of wood like this. I mean, this just doesn't have hardly any weight, you know, 7.2 ounces as compared to some of the other knives we did reviews on. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot on this this smaller piece of wood here. I can't find any smaller branches, but let's just see if I can keep from cutting my hand. And I'm not hitting this real hard because my hand is so close. So I got to be kind of careful. I don't want to catch me, you know, having to pull out a tourniquet on camera. So I'm going real, actually pretty easy here. I would even say real easy. I'm going to do this the easy way so I don't have to tilt the knife up. Now if this was a standing tree or sapling, I wouldn't be afraid of hitting my hand. So, you know, honestly, I'd be getting through this a lot quicker. But it's going to take a while on this. I mean, there's really just not much weight in this knife. That's, you know, honestly, this is not what this knife was designed for. I'm not going to put you through all that. You know, it did get through some of it, but as we could see, it would take a while for this to get through this hard maple. Now, if it were pine, yeah, okay, we might have gotten through it by now. It also does have the serrated edge. I don't know how, let me see here. Well, it's really not designed for sawing. Just wanted to see if you could, but nah, I wouldn't use this for a saw either. This is really actually more for like if you want to cut rope or something like that. Okay. Anyway, I think that's going to about do it. Now this knife, I'm not going to fight Brian with this knife, because even with a knife, I'm scared of him. I mean, he's a lot bigger than I am. So, you know, this is a knife that could be used for self-defense, if you will. It also has a short enough blade, again, 4 3/4 inches. I wonder if they planned that length intentionally, because in most states, that's legal to carry. And you know, if you don't carry it, it's useless in a self-defense situation. This knife could accommodate that. It's very light, very easy to pack. You do have a glass breaker, so it could be used like if you get stuck in a car, you know, your car rolls over in a river and you can't get out. Well, this ought to make that possible for you. You know, if you're always wearing a belt, you could actually consider this an EDC, you know. Now, most people would use a folder for those purposes, but you know, if you like wearing a belt and wearing a little sheath here, this knife could serve that purpose as well. Anyway, that's going to about do it for today. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Now I want to thank you all once again for watching. Please give us a big thumbs up, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. So for now, I'm just going to say goodbye for now, and we'll see you soon.